Ladies and gentlemen, the true Emperor of the Sea.
I noticed there was a lack of applause, and frankly, I don't blame you guys. Today is Memorial Day, ladies and gentlemen, and frankly, it's not an easy day to celebrate. Well, I don't think celebrate is the right word for it. It's more like a remembrance, of those who passed away, or deceased, or dead. I mean, whichever you want to call it, So, I'm going to do something different this year. Maybe a couple of things, in fact, right? So what I'm going to do, during this is, explain what Memorial Day means traditionally. Secondly, I'm going to explain what Memorial Day means to me. And finally, we're going to do a third thing, which is a short exercise, right? Basically just, reminding you that you're not alone in this world. And yeah, that's going to be pretty much it. And yeah, let's get started. So, in the traditional sense, right, Memorial Day is about honoring those who have fallen in the military. That's the gist of it. But yet, what I've recently learned a few weeks ago, if not months ago, is that not everybody looks at it the way that I do, or you do, In fact, some don't even recognize Memorial Day as a holiday at all. And I just thought, I guess they have their reasons, so I'm not gonna complain about that. But anyways, right? So basically it's about honoring the soldiers, who either died protecting their homelands or protecting their comrades, or basically just keeping their own friends and family safe, And honestly though, even though that, there's a balance in this world, basically, and I know there's like a war going on, some kind of conflict out there, and, some stuff happens every single day. What I see is just a soldier just doing his job, And every one of those soldiers have to take orders from someone, And I do not blame any of the soldiers nor any of the personnel that are in there, okay? Basically, their one sole purpose is to, protect their homeland from their enemies. And yeah, maybe one of these days we'll all see eye to eye. But until then, yeah, expect it to get harder each and every year. Because, let me tell you one thing. When COVID-19 came about almost 3 years ago, right? We lost a lot though. And that will lead up to my second point, of what Memorial Day means to me. But let me finish traditional, so let's hold off on that. So yeah. So it's especially hard for military families, who've lost their, soldier families, where it could be a brother, it could be a son, a parent, it could be any one of them, And the worst news that they can get though is, one of their fellow soldier comrades just coming up into their house and be like, I'm sorry to hear that, but this person, never made it. That is the worst of them all. And trust me when I tell you this though, it's especially hard for people who have, loved ones in the military. So that hurts, honestly. So now moving on to my second point, what Memorial Day means to me, like I said. So carrying from the first point, right, it's not just honoring military personnel, right? It's basically honoring the dead in general, on what they have done. Especially if you've lost a loved one, like a mother, a father, or a little sister, or maybe even a pet, or a cousin, or a best friend for that matter. It could be about any one of them. And trust me when I tell you, if your meaning is like that though, then Memorial Day, is a lot harder than to celebrate on you than others. And I'm sorry for stammering because, it's not that easy to speak on this day. It really isn't. So, I know that, COVID-19, right, the one that started 3 years ago, It's especially hard for me too because, I have some people that I lost to the virus, and it's not that easy for me to cope. And yeah, basically though, that this year it's a little bit harder for me because I know that with every year that passes though, I'm going to lose more and more people around me. Which, explains why, it gets harder and harder for everyone. It's not easy. It really isn't. And basically, we just have to stay strong and fight through it. So yeah, if you have a loved one over there, if you have, somebody, that's still amongst the living and all that stuff, I'll get to that in just a second though, in my final thoughts. So yeah. But for now though, let's just focus on those who are no longer on our earth, honestly. So yeah. Basically though, if you're just remembering them right now, even up to this day though, yeah. That's pretty much the gist of what Memorial Day means to me and what it means to you. And speaking of that, right, let's move on to the third point. Basically the exercise that I was telling you about earlier. So what I want you to do, right, for at least 1 minute, maybe a little bit more, I want you to clear your mind, close your eyes, right? Forget about everything else around you, right? And then next thing, what I want you to do, right, is to allow all the loved ones, whether deceased or among the living, to enter to your mind at once, okay? And while you do that, right, think about all the things that they have done for you. Think about all the things that help shape you for who you are, And as these thoughts go into your mind and everything, though, you will feel something, okay? And basically, it's like, an exercise that I do sometimes. And I did learn this from a movie and everything, so, yeah. So, I'm going to put 1 minute on the clock, even though you may not see it. And, yeah, let's just have 1 minute or so of silence while I put on this music. Whew. Whew. Wow. Hopefully that was a minute. And you should feel something right about now. I'm sorry, I almost cried here for a minute though because, it's really hard, And I'm honestly grateful, for all the people that are in my life, who helped me, who gave me advice, taught me things, that sort of thing. And I'm pretty sure that you guys and gals are grateful for them too, And, if you wanted to do this exercise again on your own, you can, now for me. If you ever want to, to let out some emotions once in a while, to let, feelings of anger, sadness, and all that stuff out, and I promise you'll feel a whole lot better when you're done. Okay? So yeah, there you go. So now, finally, final thoughts and everything. Because I realized that it's almost time for me to go. So, any loved ones that you have that are amongst the living, I want you to go out there, if they're away, let them know how much you love them. Let them know how much you mean to them, okay? Because you never know what tomorrow might bring, or the next week, or the next year, okay? Treasure them, cherish them as much as you can, you know? Because one of these days, though, you're gonna lose them. And I know it sounds cruel of me to say this, but it's a fact of life, you know? It's one of the things that we inevitably got to accept. So, and this goes out to my people too, okay? And this goes out to those who were there for me, though. And this is exactly why I care so much, you know? You know, why I care what happens to these people, why I care about what happens to you guys, or, you know, the people that know me personally, you know? That's why I'm like this, you know? Because I know, you know, what's at stake, and I understand what they're going through. Which is why I try to be as forgiving as I can, you know? I try to be, you know, compassionate. I try to be kind, that sort of thing. And speaking of forgiveness, right? I know that it's not an easy thing to do, but whoever has hurt you in the past, you know, who are no longer amongst the living, or is among the living, though, I think it's about time that you've, you know, find it in your heart, you know, just to forgive those who have hurt you and everything. Because let me tell you something. If you keep holding on to this grudge, you know, if you keep holding on to the fact that, you know, this person had hurt you or you haven't gone over it, though, it's only going to get worse, you know. It's only going to eat you up inside further and further. And yeah, back then when I was younger, though, you know, I sought revenge on people. I sought, you know, hatred, though. At one point, though, I wanted them to die a horrible death. But as I grew up, though, I realized it's not worth it. I realized that, you know, it's not healthy for me to think like that, you know? Which is why, you know, I really don't care what happens to me, you know, I really much don't care if they hurt me or not, though. Okay? You can forgive them, right? But it doesn't mean you have to let them into your life. It's basically saying that you're strong enough to let go and move on. And for those of you who have a loved one who isn't such a role model and everything, the best revenge that I can offer you, the best advice that I can give you is to make yourself even much more successful than them. Because if you can get yourself on that pedestal, right? To get yourself on that pedestal of success, right? There's no need to hate them. There's no need to spout hatred for them. There's no need to seek revenge on them who hurt you, though, because your success is the best revenge there is. And I know I'm going a little bit off topic, though, but one of these days, though, right, if your enemies are gone, right, 6 feet under, right, then you should remember them too, because they too help shape who you are, and they too let you become the stronger person that you are today. And thus, that's about it for me, though. I know that this is a very, very emotional day, but do your best to take something positive from it, you know? And turn it into a strength, and turn it into endurance, courage, and let them fill your heart, you know, with as much energy as it can be. And with that, I leave it up to you, and please have a great Memorial Day, and thank you all so much for coming.